Yeah, the question was, did Ripple build a financial system? And I went on to explain wherein the unit of account could transmit over a method of payment, XRPL, through the means of exchange.
So from a Ripple perspective, I think it's business as usual from our side, but really we're starting to see a huge amount of traction. I think we aim to be that full infrastructure provider.
There's demand for Sol, but there has to be $1 against each Sol that they issue, or each USDC or Ripple coin that they issue. Ripple USD, not XRP, just to be very clear, right? The RL USD coin.
I feel like 2025, and I'd love to get your take, has been a shift in appetite for institutional investors, and that probably started from last year. The big question that everyone is watching is like, why crypto and why now from an institutional standpoint?
Meaning instead of prioritizing in-house development, essentially what they're doing is they are continually expanding through acquisitions and investments.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and they want all them empty.
What's up, good glitches? If you got a baggie, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock news. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. Shout out to the latest sub. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We got XRP currently right around $2.18. We got Coin Telegraph to pop things off new. Apple, X, Airbnb, Google are reportedly in early talks to integrate stablecoins, signaling big tech's growing move into crypto payments amid shifting U.S. policy. Subject views Ripple is aiming to be a full-service infrastructure provider even in Pakistan.
I think we're extremely excited about the space as a whole. If you think we've been playing in the space since 2012, for a large portion of that time, we didn't have that element of support from regulators, from FIs. I really feel like we're at a tipping point right now where suddenly the regulation is looking to keep up with the technology and innovation. So from a Ripple perspective, I think it's business as usual from our side, but really we're starting to see a huge amount of traction. I think we aim to be that full infrastructure provider across the market. So whether that is for cross-border payments, whether that is for stablecoin settlement on off-ramp, then if it is tokenization, providing that support to be able to do that on the XRP ledger. And then obviously the custody to be able to safely secure those assets. So from us, it's a fully kind of holistic approach where, and we're seeing that. We work with large FIs. They don't want the complexity of working with 5 different partners for 5 different elements of completely new technology for their business. It becomes quite problematic internally to be able to get that amount of buying and sign-up. So really that's, as I mentioned earlier, the senior head-ups in the room when it comes to being able to provide that guidance, to be able to provide that strategy, and ultimately provide the solutions that are needed to take from 0 to 1, but then also beyond that to continue to build and evolve kind of the technology in terms of what their offering is.
Crypto Eddie, did you catch Hugo Philly on in person in Singapore, 5 p.m. Wednesday? Olivia Room, XRP staking powered by Blur Networks and T's. Trusted execution environments for executing code in a secure area. Andrew D. Vilbis, my bet is on XRP.
Solana fee in its digital currency, Sol.
You would pay them a fee.
In their digital currency.
Yeah, exactly. But it comes out of the same dollar pool, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But, I mean, let's say it's $1 million and they charge, let's make up a number, they charge $1. I don't know what they charge. Let's say they charge $1 for the whole thing.
Right.
That $1 is paid to them in Sol.
Correct.
So if Solana becomes the stablecoin network and it takes off, I should invest in Sol because everybody's going to need to pay them in Sol.
That's the utility point. That's exactly the utility point that I'm speaking of. But when you pay them, this is the big difference, that with a stable coin, it's backed 1-to-1. There's not very much capital appreciation. You can believe in the utility of the company and buy stock in that, and that makes total sense. But you're not so much believing in the fact that there's going to be capital appreciation of a $1-to-1 reserve. Why would you do that?
No, that's not my point.
Yeah.
My point is you got to pay them a fee.
Yeah.
And the fee is going to be in their digital currency.
Correct.
So like I said, let's imagine a world where stablecoin really gets big.
Yeah.
And let's also imagine a world where Sol is the Visa of stablecoin.
Correct.
I should buy Sol's.
You buy Visa, right? If you buy Visa stock,
No, I want to buy. I want to buy Sol because people are
could
going to need to buy Sols to pay them. They pay their fee.
makes sense. But you can keep buying them, but there's always a dollar reserve against. That's my point. There is no. It's how would you have capital appreciation in that case?
What in Sol?
Yeah.
Isn't there more of demand for Sol?
There's demand for Sol, but there has to be a dollar against each Sol that they issue, or each USDC or Ripple coin that they issue. Ripple USD, not XRP, just to be very clear, right? The RL USD coin. There's a dollar behind.
So you're
that.
saying that Sol's going to be pegged to the dollar?
No, I'm not saying Sol's going to be. If there is a stable coin, I'd rather not get into the
No, I'm not.
gritty
I'm
details
not talking about
which one.
that there's no appreciation
Right.
in the stable coin.
Correct.
I'm talking about there will be appreciation in Sol.
in the yes.
in the currency that you are going to have. Make up a simple story. The whole world goes stablecoin.
Yes.
The whole world only uses Solana.
Okay.
And everybody's got to pay Solana and Sol.
Right.
If that happened, I
There's
guarantee
been
you one
appreciation.
thing. The price of Sol's going up.
The point being made was going right over the black suit's head. XRP is the trade of the century. Know what you hold. XAIF crypto, even Bitcoin Maxi, Lark Davis admits it. Ripple Labs is going full software bank mode, buying companies, building infrastructure. This is not just payments, it's the foundation of the global finance
strategy, meaning instead of prioritizing in-house development, essentially what they're doing is they are continually expanding through acquisitions and investments. The tentacles of XRP go long and far, essentially. So it's clear that acquisitions are a key part of Ripple's plans here.
Uphold, everyone wants to earn, everybody wants more crypto. How do you actually do it? 4% back in XRP with direct deposits, 5% back with our upcoming card, staking, more. Ray Fuentes, did Ripple build a new financial system? Vincent says yes and breaks down how XRP, DLT, and Ripple are rewriting the rules of money.
The IRS took away the house and everything. So I've had basically a blood feud with the system ever since back then. And this system has basically steamrolled over every single person in the working class. We have mortgage delinquencies, car loan delinquencies, and sovereign debt crisis going on right now. And I got a question answered by David Schwartz yesterday.
Do you mind sharing that question?
Yeah, the question was, did Ripple build a financial system? And I went on to explain wherein the unit of account could transmit over a method of payment, XRPL, through the means of exchange, through either gas to be burnt for the facilitation of the actual transaction or a money processor in order to convert to whatever stablecoin or tokenized asset that you want, with stores of value as RWAs or anything else back in the unit of account. And he basically said, yes, that is a financial system. Now, what we have in our hands here for the transmission of value and the internet of value, this is a new way of transacting all throughout the world. And what that means for the Federal Reserve System. This system has been propped up by CIA coups, blackmail, the Epstein stuff. It's pretty evil what they've done throughout the entire world. And there's blood on the hands of the people that have put this system upon us, and we need to all get out of it.
Do you think there's a parallel between religion and what we're experiencing with this DLT, distributed ledger technology? Do you think
Trump literally, by milliseconds, he would have been shot and killed?
Yeah.
You know, you can't deny at a certain point things of extraordinary nature like that.
Riz XRP, will crypto ETFs, institutional money trigger the next crypto bull run?
You mentioned you've been in Binance for over 3 years now. I feel like 2025, and I'd love to get your take, has been a shift in appetite for institutional investors, and that probably started from last year. The big question that everyone is watching is like, why crypto and why now from an institutional standpoint? So to be honest, I think the institutional interest has always been like slowly bubbling, and depending on the type of institutional investor, you can almost say that they've been observing and watching on the sideline. And a lot of people are on the fence. Frankly, some of them probably still are. Now, obviously, one of the biggest events last year was the introduction of ETF. And I've said this time and again, with the introduction of ETF, right? This is a pivotal moment for crypto. The volume is not going to explode overnight. And we are also not going to see overnight tons of institutional investors suddenly switching sides. Nonetheless, it sends the market a very important signal. For instance, for the traditional institutional investor, whether it's sovereign or pension, right now, at the very minimum, all of these institutional investors has a fiduciary duty to at least take a proper look at this asset class. And thanks to the introduction of ETF, this asset class has also been given the much needed legitimacy, right? So right now we have a lot more institutional investor, post the event of the introduction of ETF, people started looking at it. And over time, in fact, I think not long ago in January, Financial Times also reported that a number of institutional investors, pension, the suffering, started to invest in making a reasonable amount of allocation into the crypto ETF. And I predict that this is just the beginning of it. More and more people will follow, whether from an asset allocation point of view or a diversification point of view. It's something that people can no longer neglect and ignore.
Banks, institutions on their way to pump our bags up. Pump our bags up. We got Dr. Martin, stablecoins are the gateway of the world is the result. Uber CEO says the company is considering using stablecoins to lower cost.
I understand that you are considering stablecoin as a vehicle for Uber. Talk about where your considerations are and how that might benefit your business.
Yeah, we're still in the study phase, I'd say, but I think stablecoin is one of the, for me, more interesting instantiations of crypto that has a practical benefit other than crypto as a store of value. Obviously, you can have your opinions on Bitcoin, but it's a proven commodity. And people have different opinions on where it's going. But I do think that stablecoin is quite promising, especially for global companies that are moving money around globally to create a mechanism for us to essentially reduce costs.
It's about to get real. RL. USD. Sentiment feed. Bitcoin reaches all-time high. 55.39 million holders. Ethereum leads all networks with 148.38 million. We got XRP. 6.53 million holders. Doge 7.97. Tether. Cardano 4.49. USD 3.3 million. Chainlink 766,000. Mustache altcoins. If only people would see that the total 2 repeats the cycle from back then. We're in the blue area. The next phase equals parabolic price action for altcoins. Dips are for buying. Crypto's TA, XRP strong bounce off support. Price now fighting to get back above the neckline. Close above it would be bullish, extra bullish. Coins Kid XRP is a snooze fest. It's sideways and down at the moment. There is a chance it's looking for the 55W EMA red line before continuation to a minimal $4.13. If you've been tuning in on all these years, you'll be aware of how XRP usually feels. The bottom. Wix. Dark Defender. XRP's upcoming performance against Bitcoin is inevitable. Shortly, everyone will talk about this. Hidden bullish divergence on XRP charts. Hidden bearish divergence on BTC charts. XRP versus BTC is bullish based on RSI and expected fifth Elliott wave. And the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP. Rich list, where are those bags be when that regulation jar molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? I'll catch you up here on the mothership. I am the XRP bagman, the Moon Commander, BYOB. Bring your own bags, be your own bank, be your own boss. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Welcome to the party. This a moon party. Hey, this a moon party. Hey, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. This a moon party. This a moon party. Welcome to the party, we don't play around here.